failure, as the Americans know, is one of the great proving grounds. So what I've learned by that enormous failure, and just to give you a taste of the size of this organization, employed 1,500 people, fed the Pope, fed Tina Turner, fed Bruce Springsteen, did every major movie, not just in this country, did major movies in the UK, in Italy, and indeed in the Amazon jungle. So here was this enormous business, and I failed at it. Up to quite recently, I held the record of the only fellow to be sued by every bank licensed to trade in the state on the same day. That was quite unique at that time. It's not quite unique today, but so I was in my 50s before I earned my first real wages check, as opposed to taking money out of a company that was bankrupt. So how did all this happen? So the first principle of business, and to me, it is the overriding principle, you have to want to be in it. Now, if you don't want to be in it, then get out of it. And what I didn't do for 30 years is to make that crucial decision to actually say, I hate what I'm doing and I should get out of it. I got there by accident, which we'll come to in just a moment. But the first decision, if there's any person in this room doesn't jump out of bed in the morning and say, I want to go to work because I love what I'm doing, to get out of it, because you're better off. Second thing you must do, and I say this all the time, every single person is lucky. The problem is the majority of people wouldn't recognize luck if it smacked them in the gob. You don't know what is your lucky day. So therefore, you have to prepare for every day of your life like this is it. This is the life-changing day. So that means that everything has to be dealt with as if it's the most important thing you ever did. But what is crucially important is I am doing what I am happiest at. And until you are happy, you're no bloody good. The great thing about venture, and the thing you must bring to your life, is the positivity that venture and other aspects of your life brings. If you persuade yourself that there is no business around, there will be no business around. You bring to this meeting the single most important advantage of positivity. Don't lose it. And you bring the second one. You bring the second one for which rugby was founded, the Freemasons, the Knights of Columbanus, and anything else you want to think about. That networking is the secret to business. Thanks.
What the suppliers are doing is that, in effect, is that they're going to the place where the customer is buying. And that's something that we often underestimate, is that you've got to look and know your customer and know where they're buying. And sometimes it's a common marketplace, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's at their desk. They say the worst time to do a food shop is when you're hungry, right? Same principle applies. You've got to go to where your customer is, where they're buying, at the moment they make the decision to buy. So I knew, for example, of a business which sent their customers screensavers of the beautiful spa facilities they had. And they weren't the kind of typical spa facility photographs you get, which kind of looked like kind of that typical hotel. They were beautiful. They just were relaxing just to look at. They said, you're welcome to use these screensavers for free. And of course, what were they doing very cleverly? They were going to where they're, when somebody most likely to book a spa break, when they're feeling hassled and under pressure at work. So it's really important to go where your customer is.
Folks, I'd like to thank you all for your input today. I was just sitting at the back, and you could, as Georgia said, the energy. People wanted to really give input and wanted to engage with the three companies that are up here. They wanted to share ideas, offer advice. There were architects offering advice and giving input to Brendan and Claire. There were marketing companies there to support other marketing companies. There's solicitors supporting, online. It's just great to see that kind of support. And really, that's the essence of venture. It's about supporting each other. We don't have to.
Really enjoyed the presentation this morning, and the new businesses. It's great to see new businesses starting up in the time of a recession. It's good to see people who have the experience in business passing on and warning them of the pitfalls they may face. So I think it's a win-win for everybody in this meeting this morning.
Venture's not just for getting business referrals, it's also a great way of actually getting expertise from other members and creating new ventures.
Venture on a Friday morning for me is definitely worth getting out of bed for. It's the highlight of my week. It enables me to mix with people who want to do business and who want to help you to succeed. But it also enables me to help other people to succeed.
Venture is a tremendous way of connecting with other people and making real contact and lasting contact that's going to be valuable to me.
I have to say it was a wonderful joint venture this morning, especially having George Hook here. I'm with Venture about 4 or 5 years at this stage, and it's very beneficial. You do meet the right people, and it's onwards and upwards. Thank you.
I've been a member of Venture since 2007. I was there at the very first meeting, and there was something a bit special about what was going on. I've stayed right through until now, 2011.
We find, first of all, networking works very, very well. Secondly, we find that the people who are in the Venture Group are professionals who are very, very willing to share their connections and their contacts.
I joined for the sole purpose of growing my business, and that's exactly what it's done for me. I get about 30% of my business now from Venture, and have consistently been growing that business.
I'm here this morning in the Gresham Hotel in Dublin at a joint venture meeting. I've brought 2 guests along, and they have been absolutely wowed by the positivity, the support and the energy in the room with the venture members and their guests. It's been a fabulous morning. Thanks to everybody for their help and support.